Hey guys, Sarah Berry CPA here. Today is Friday, November the 20th, and I'm coming to you from quarantine. And today I just wanted to address one specific thing in this particular video, and this is the Arkansas Make Ready Grant. So if you did not receive that grant, disregard this video. You don't want to watch it. If you did receive the Arkansas Make Ready Grant, remember this is the grant that come out the first part of May, I believe, and it was like $1,000 per full-time employee for a business in the state of Arkansas, and it was to reimburse for COVID-related expenses. So I think we helped our clients get around $200,000 or so for this particular grant. Well, you have until the end of the year to spend these funds correctly in order to get this grant forgiven, okay? So we're approaching the end of the year, and some of you guys may have received an email this week about this grant. If you received the grant, you should have received an email this week. If not this week, it will be coming shortly. So I wanted to address this with you guys. Make for sure that you know these funds have to be used by December the 30th on qualified expenses in order to get this forgiven. We're approaching this deadline. We're going into the holiday season, so it's very important that you take a look at all your qualified expenses that you've had so far and make for sure that you spend this money correctly. Otherwise, you're going to be paying it back to the state of Arkansas. So, what is a qualified expense? PPE, mask, face shields, gloves, those type things. Expenses related to reconfiguring the business premises to meet recommended health and safety guidelines. So if you put up plexiglass, if you put up stickers on the floor telling people to stand so many feet apart, those type things, that is a qualified expense. I know I have one client that provides outdoor seating since this COVID has come through, and for a period of time we were not allowed to go in and eat, so they provided outdoor seating to meet the CDC guidelines. So that would qualify as an expense for this grant. No contact point of sale payment equipment, supplies and disinfectants, hand sanitizers, initially deep cleaning the premises, ongoing deep cleaning the premises, hiring a third party to perform periodic deep cleaning services. So make for sure that if you have not done that, if you haven't deep cleaned your facility, you have funds left over, you can hire these third-party cleaners to come in and sanitize and deep clean your building. You just need to get that on the agenda to get this spent by the end of the year instead of having to pay this money back to the state of Arkansas. Signage, marketing, advertising, in order to reopen your business. We all had to close down for a period of time. We all put signs on our front door talking about our new guidelines, our new business hours, precautionary measures, and things like that. So the expenses for this would be a qualified expense. Supplies necessary for restocking. Not really sure what they're talking about there. Other one-time expenses necessary to reopen a business or resume normal operations. Payroll and benefits are not eligible expenses, okay? So this is the original terms and conditions. So you should have received an email, and it would have looked something like this. I redacted this client's information that forwarded this email to me. Grant number, grantee, that's the name of your business, and grant amount. So you will know how much that you received with this grant. Dear client ABC, you have received this grant, and you have to spend it by the end of December 30th. And then it tells you there are some links there to different things, and we'll go through those things. But it tells you if you've already made expenditures with the grant funds, we encourage you to go ahead and begin reporting these expenses now, even though you may not have spent these funds. Now, this is a very specific link just for your business here. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to this website and say the name of your business, the grant amount name, and it's going to tell you all the expenses that you have submitted so far. So we'll go through that in a little bit, how you do that submission. But let's say you spent $1,000 on hand sanitizers, deep cleaning expenses and things like that. So you would enter $1,000 when you go in to do the submission, and you upload copies of those receipts, and then this software is tracking it. So if your grant was $50,000 and you've spent $1,000, then it would say you need to spend another $49,000 in order to get this completely forgiven. So it tracks it as you upload it. So that's really cool. Go ahead and start getting these expenses uploaded, because the deadline is January the 31st in order to get all of these uploaded on this website to the state of Arkansas, or they're going to make you pay this back. Who knows? You could get sick. You could test positive. Your admin could, that's going to be doing this for you. So why wait if you know what these expenses are? Also, a best practice that I'm recommending my clients do is on your general ledger, your chart of accounts, I would create a separate line item that says Arkansas grant expenses. And everything that you've spent on these, you've taken this grant money and you've spent it on qualified expenses, I would go in and put it in this line that says Arkansas grant expenses. And as you incur additional expenses between now and the end of the year, put it in this general ledger account number. That way you can easily pull it up and keep track of the expenses that you've had, that you used this grant money on. So you don't have to do that. That's just me being an accountant, liking to see stuff on the general ledger, so you can track if you received $50,000 in grant and this particular line says you spent $25,000, you know you have to spend another $25,000. So you can tell at a glance what you received and what you need to spend. So pull up a couple other things here and go through with you guys. This is the terms and conditions we've already discussed. Okay, these are some listing of eligible expenditures. This is the FAQs, and this is a link that's on that email when you receive it. So I just clicked on the link telling you how the grant's calculated, which you really don't care about that because you've already received your money. But this is what I really wanted to point out. What are eligible expenses that the grant money may be used for? PPE, no contact thermometers. For employees and customers, no contact point of sale system. This is your equipment to where someone doesn't have to hand you the card. Supplies and disinfectants to initially deep clean. Hiring a third party to periodic deep cleaning services, hand sanitizer stations. I think we talked about the rest of that. Examples of eligible expenditures. One-time restocking of merchandise to get business operational again. So that could be pretty open-ended, I guess. Installation of drive-through windows and items necessary to get a drive-through operation, such as hands to get a drive-through operational. So if you're putting in a drive-through for the first time, specifically because that's your business plan for COVID, then your headsets, additional registers, and things like that would qualify to be used with this grant money. Vinyl smooth surface furniture, vinyl hard surface flooring, a pressure washer. You can buy a pressure washer for your business and use the grant money, so that's great. Telework equipment and subscription services. So if you've sent some employees home, then you could possibly use this, apparently. Take out to go merchandise. I don't know what would fall into that category. Website design reconfiguration. So maybe you're redesigning your website to adjust to the COVID-19 restrictions. Outdoor seating. There again, you put a picnic table outside in front of your restaurant to abide by the CDC. That does qualify. Contactless equipment, doors, gates, and things like that, so people can open doors without touching. Carpet cleaning, paper towels, cleaning solutions, mops, ozone generators, hanging menus, iPads, because they're easy to sanitize, signage pertaining to reopening, bleachable towels and beddings, supplies and furniture for classrooms to help with spacing out of students if you have a class or a daycare, a zip wall, plastic sheet to separate contractors from clients inside their homes, Payment for third-party licensed medical staff to perform daily COVID-19 screenings of employees. Okay, all that makes sense. Okay, so then another link that's in that email, when you click on the submission, it's going to bring you here, and I'm not going to walk through this line by line because it is pretty lengthy, but it tells you very specifically how to go in and submit these expenses into this portal here, where you enter the dollar amount of the expense, you attach the receipts, and then it starts with your grant amount and starts deducting it down, telling you how much you have left to input. It's very detailed instructions here, so I don't think you guys are going to have any problems with it. But if you do, just give us a call. Let me see. I made some notes. Oh, so it's really important that you get this email and that you save it, because this is a very specific client by client link that you're going to get. So it's not a generic. You can't just go on their Arkansas Ready for Business Grant website and click a link. This is very specific to your business. So save that email, archive it so that you can come back to that link over and over again every time you want to submit some more upload some more expenses into their website. Okay, very important. Save that email. If you do not find an email, then I believe it says in here, if you cannot find the email or link provided, call us or email us. We will resend the email containing the link. Okay. So first priority, spend the money if you haven't. You have until December 30th. Second priority, find that email and save it. Third priority, I would create a general ledger account that says Arkansas Grant Expenses and start moving all of your expenses into that line item so you can easily track it in your accounting software. Fourth priority, go ahead and start submitting expenses into this website. Give us a call if you have any questions when you're following these instructions. And last, make sure this is complete by January 31st. So I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about this Arkansas Make Ready grant. I will do another video in a little bit to talk about another grant the state of Arkansas has come out with, specific for certain industries in the state of Arkansas that are suffering, but I'm not going to do that on this video because it would cause it to run over our time limit.